The stand at Ashton Park. The cold beam of a flashlight sliced through the night, catching Lydia Monroe in its blinding path as she paused on the cracked trail weaving through Ashton Park. The air smelled of damp leaves and lingering asphalt. Streetlights were scarce in this part of the park, making the flashlight beam not just a tool of illumination, but a symbol of power. Lydia didn't flinch. She stood rooted, breathing slow and even, honed by years of martial arts training. She taught countless students the value of control, of calm. Now, that teaching lived in her bones. Officer Brent Madison stepped forward, his silhouette outlined against the harsh light. His baton gleamed under the beam, raised slightly, not yet threatening, but unmistakably assertive. His stance was not defensive, it was that of a man used to being obeyed. He exuded control, or at least a desire for it. "Hands where I can see them," he barked, his tone clipped and impatient. Lydia lifted her hands slowly, deliberately, to shoulder height. Not in surrender, never surrender, but in caution. She was unarmed, her gym bag at her side containing nothing more than gloves, a towel, and 2 dulled wooden practice knives. She had just left her evening self-defense class at the Ashton Community Center, where she taught women how to protect themselves, how to read danger, how to trust their instincts. Right now, her instincts screamed at her. This wasn't about safety. It was about power. She met Brent's stare directly. His flashlight stayed fixed on her face, disorienting and invasive. Her eyes narrowed as she forced herself to remain still. No sudden movements. No gestures that could be misinterpreted. Stillness wasn't submission, it was strategy. But Brent wasn't looking for calm. He was looking for control. The encounter stretched like taut wire. Lydia saw it in his eyes, the way his jaw flexed, the way his grip on the baton tightened. She recognized the signs, taught her students to recognize them. He was preparing to escalate, and all she could do was stay calm. "Pretty late to be wandering the park, isn't it?" he asked, circling slowly. "It's a public space," Lydia replied evenly. "And there's no curfew." Her voice was steady, not confrontational, not deferential, just grounded. Brent didn't like that. She could feel it in the way his shoulders squared, how he loomed a little closer. The flashlight beam bounced off her face. She resisted the urge to shield her eyes. "What's in the bag?" he demanded. "Training gear," she replied. "I teach martial arts at the center." Brent grunted, then motioned toward the bag. "Open it." Lydia hesitated, not from fear, but from principle. There was no probable cause, no reason for a search. But she'd been here before, not with him, but with others like him, officers who didn't need reasons, only pretexts. She slowly set the bag on the ground and unzipped it. Gloves, towel, wooden knives, all legal, all harmless. Brent stepped closer, eyes narrowing as he looked inside. "Weapons, training tools," she said. His lip curled, dissatisfied. She wasn't giving him what he wanted. She wasn't afraid. That made her dangerous. He stepped even closer, into her space now, close enough that she could smell the coffee on his breath and the starch of his uniform. His voice dropped lower. "You think this is over?" "Evacuated," Lydia replied. "There's nothing else." His baton shifted, just slightly, but enough. Lydia's muscles coiled. She didn't move, didn't run, didn't provoke, but she was ready. Behind them, footsteps echoed faintly on the path. A jogger? A witness? Brent barked again. "Hands on your head." Lydia didn't comply. She kept her hands where they were, visible, open, unthreatening. His face twisted. He stepped back, then forward again. The baton raised. Then, crack. The baton came down in a wide arc. Lydia moved. A pivot. A parry. Her left hand intercepted his wrist, redirecting the blow just enough to prevent damage. Not an attack. A deflection. The baton clattered to the ground. Brent stumbled, caught off guard. She did not strike, did not chase. She simply stood, the space between them filled with adrenaline. And witnesses. Joggers slowed. Phones rose. The glowing red of record lights flickered in the night. Brent noticed. He froze. Then rage took over. He drew his taser. Fired. Lydia was faster. The probes missed, one embedding in a trash can, the other snapping into the dirt. The wires curled uselessly in the breeze. Brent cursed. Another failed attempt. His dominance eroding. His mask of authority slipping. From the edge of the park, a teenager raised a phone. The camera lens shimmered like a silent judge. Brent charged. Lydia sidestepped. He lunged again. She pivoted, redirected. No harm. No hits. Just balance. Just restraint. And then made a mistake. A final desperate tackle. Lydia moved like water. Redirected his weight. Flipped him. Brent landed hard. Grass-stained. Disarmed. Defeated. She stood a few feet away, breathing calm and even, her stance low, her hands open. Around them, the crowd swelled. A woman stepped forward. She didn't do anything. He attacked her. Phones buzzed. Screens captured every detail. Then headlights. A second patrol car pulled up. Sergeant Darius Hill emerged. Composed. Black uniform crisp. Eyes sharp. He saw the taser wires. The baton. Brent's torn uniform. And Lydia. Calm. Unarmed. Still. Report, he ordered. Brent fumbled. She resisted. Sergeant Hill raised a hand. Then turned to Lydia. Ma'am, I need your account. She gave it. From beginning to end. Fact by fact. No embellishment. Just truth. When she finished, Sergeant Hill turned back to Brent. You're relieved of duty, Officer Madison. Badge. Weapon. Now. Gasped from the crowd. Brent stood paralyzed. Hill didn't raise his voice. He didn't need to. Brent handed over the badge. Then the gun. His authority dissolved in the mist. The crowd watched as Brent was escorted away. The moment marked. The balance shifted. Lydia sat on her couch that night, hands wrapped around a warm mug of tea. Her phone buzzed. A message. From SGT. Hill. Internal Affairs has launched an investigation. Thank you for your integrity tonight. She didn't smile, but her shoulders eased. A little. Just a little. The next morning, local media reported the incident. Videos went viral. Headlines read, Officer relieved after recorded confrontation. Comments flooded in. Some supportive. Some outraged. All watching. Later that week, Lydia stood before a new group of students. Dingun. Mothers. Young professionals. She adjusted her stance. Breathed deep. And said, Strength isn't about force. It's about clarity. About standing calm in chaos. They listened. Because they had seen the footage. Because she had lived it. A city council member called the next day. MS. Monroe, we're overhauling our de-escalation training. We want your help. Lydia said yes. Not because she wanted the spotlight, but because someone had to lead. Someone had to teach the system what strength really looked like. The following month, Officer Brent Madison was officially terminated. No reinstatement. No pension. A precedent set. Lydia never bragged. Never needed to. She had stood. That was enough. And for those who still walk paths like Ashton Park late at night, her story echoed. Quiet, but powerful, like the calm before movement, and the strength behind restraint.